Hello, this is Richard with Simplified Manufacturing. This is the EX1L video manual. The EX1L is an upgraded HDMI 2.0B AV on category cable extender. Its purpose is to allow you to run 4K UHD HDMI AV signals over very long distances, in this case up to 394 feet, up to 492 feet with 1080p. It's designed to work on Cat 6 or Cat 6A cable. Category cable is relatively inexpensive, and the advantages of category cable is you can always change the technology as it changes. For example, 4K 120 or 8K rolls along, you'll be able to swap out the X1L for the newer version of the device that supports that greater format. The X1L also supports all HDR formats, including Dolby Vision. This is a big change over the previous two versions, which is the EX2 or EX2i. They do not support Dolby Vision. So as Dolby Vision is needed, then this is a big change. Other features include an audio breakout and more control pass-through options. So features: very long distance, up to 394 feet at 4K, 492 feet at 1080p. It supports the entire 2.0B format, including YUV 444 60 frames at 18 gig HDMI 2.0B. It supports all HDR formats, supports all audio formats, and works well on legacy wiring. Again, this is one of the advantages of this extender, is it will work in situations where you have Cat 5e or punch downs. It will work where other extenders will not. Okay, HDMI loop out, so if you want to loop out to another monitor, etc. It's got audio breakout. It supports CEC. Like I said, this is a big difference between the micro line. The micro line does not support CEC, so if you want to use your remote to control your source, or your source to control your television's volume, this will allow you to do that. It also sends IR to and from the RX and TX, and it adds RS-232 commands, and it powers from one end either. So the big differences, the key differences over the micro devices, is much longer distance, better than double the distance. It adds Dolby Vision support, it adds CEC, it adds RS-232, and it adds audio breakout. So you get a really big feature-rich difference between the micro and the X1L. So TX features: power connection. You only have to power one end. It does not matter which. You can power the transmitter or power the receiver. Category output with Diagnostics, stereo audio breakout at the transmitter, HDMI loop out, HDMI input, IR that goes to the RX output, IR output from the RX input, RS-232 port, and a USB micro connector for updating the extender or logging firmware, stuff like that. So features explained. The audio breakout is a really big difference on this because it allows you to extract audio at the transmitter or at the receiver. If you're using it in a commercial application, it's most likely stereo, so you can draw it out at either side through the 3.5mm mini. There is an optical at the RX, and this is really great for residential applications because a lot of cases the new displays do not have an optical output, and if it does, it's been highly compressed. The way Dolby rules work is we can extract up to Dolby Digital Plus 5.1, and the bandwidth is going to be far better. So the sound quality will be better extracting it from the the EX1L receiver than it would be doing it from a display. The 120-meter capability, again, is really good for long distances, but it's also good for situations where the wiring is suspect or legacy. CEC, the CEC control is where you can allow a source remote to control the TV volume or vice versa, and it is the first extender in our line that supports this. The micro line does not. So the RX features, so you've got the power connection again. Remember, only one end needs to be powered, either one. It's got a category input with Diagnostics. It's got optical audio output that we just talked about. It's a much superior audio output. Analog audio output, the HDMI output that goes to your display, IR to the TX output, IR from the TX input, RS-232, and again the USB micro connector. So let's talk about the diagnostics. The green LED indicator indicates that power is applied. So if it's flashing, that means it's not connected well. That means that there's something wrong with the category cable or power. So you're going to look at that. If it's lit solid, that means that you have good power and that the category cable is good and they're communicating well. The amber light talks about the HDMI circuit. So if it's lit solid, that means that the source is connected to the transmitter is connected to the receiver is connected to the display, and the entire circuit is complete. If it's flashing 1 time per second, then it is complete, but you do not have HDCP. This could be a camera, it could be an NVR, it could be a laptop, etc. If it's flashing rapidly, you have something wrong with your HDMI circuit. It's poor, it's semi-working, but there's something usually wrong with an HDMI cable. And if it's dark, the circuit's not complete. So these two LED indicators will tell you what to look for as opposed to scrambling around trying to figure it out. The logging feature is really important on our extenders. What's really neat about this is that you may run across something we've never seen before. You could be in a different part of the world. You could be in a state where there's a unique cable box or set-top box or whatever that we've never seen before. And sometimes some of these legacy ones, the older ones, can be problematic with newer displays. So the neat part about our logging feature is you could plug a PC into our extenders, and we can send you what's called logging firmware. You run it, you watch the handshake, you email us the log, we look at it, we fix it, and we email you back a new firmware that solves your problem. So that's what's really neat about a lot of our extenders, is that we can quickly identify what happened and solve it, as opposed to trying to go out and buy products and or go to the territory that's in, etc. That takes a lot of time. By being able to log remotely, it's very fast and efficient. Troubleshooting. So the LED indicators are your first line, right? So if you look at it and you say, okay, my green light's good, my amber light's good, awesome. But if one of them is flashing or one of them is doing, one of the negative things we talked about, then you know where to look. As far as advanced troubleshooting, when you run across something that we just can't solve over the phone, that's when we're going to break out the logging capability and solve it that way. So the recap, the EX1L is designed to get HDMI signals to travel over category cable. It's cost effective on category cable, but also it has a lot more capability, right? So it's good for legacy wiring or long distances. The EX1L can be replaced as technology changes, right? This is usually not possible with an HDMI cable. The EX1L supports the entire 2.0B format, including Dolby Vision. So if the customer needs Dolby Vision, this is your first device to do that. IR can be sent back and forth between the RX and TX. The RS-232 can be sent back and forth as well. Power supplied on one end, either. Also, the EX1L offers CEC pass-through. So again, this is the first piece that does that. So if you do need that capability, it has it. The EX1L has an audio breakout of both RX and TX. And remember, the RX has an optical that's going to be far superior to the displays. Okay. The EX1L has diagnostics, and advanced issues can be logged with a PC, and we can write new firmware to solve the newly found issue. So thank you for watching this. If you have any questions, please contact us at 833-436-4411. That's HDMI 411, or hit our website at simplifiedmfg.com. Thank you for your time.